The Houston Texans will get some new players later this week via the NFL draft, but the ones already on the team, they got to work getting ready for the 2025 season. Players in the building, off-season activities happening, and a focus from CJ Stroud on that new offense of the Houston Texans. It's got to be better in 2025. It will define the Houston Texans 2025 season. A new offensive coordinator, Nick Caley, he's got plenty on his plate. Got to fix that offensive line. Got to be more consistent throwing the ball. And with that, you got to get CJ Stroud back to being consistently excellent like he was for a good portion of his rookie season. Didn't quite see that as consistently in 2024 for a variety of reasons, all of which we've talked about here on the channel. But Nick Caley has to get CJ Stroud rolling again. Stroud gave us a little peek behind the curtain on what those two are cooking up. But before he got to the details of what they will have with this new offense, Stroud said those early conversations with Nick Caley, hey, not even really about football.
At first, it was just introduction. Now we're starting to get in the scheme of things, but just more like filling each other out as people, seeing where he comes from, being from Canton, not far from Columbus, where I played ball in college, and just a lot of similarities when it comes to just like family. Just how much we love our families and how much we love ball, and he's very personable. Very somebody that I've found respect for already, just on how he approaches the game, how much he loves it. So. Just very introductional, but also as we've come into OTAs and we've been able to get on the phone a couple of times to talk about certain things, which has been nice.
Now, before I play you this next clip, I want you to really think about what CJ Stroud's about to talk about here, because they haven't had a lot of time to work through or put in a ton of stuff with this offense. They got plenty of time to build Nick Caley's offense exactly the way he sees it and exactly the way CJ Stroud wants it. But as Stroud talks about some of the things that he already knows about this offense, think about how exciting it sounds when they've only put in just a tiny bit of work on this offense.
He comes from LA and New England, and he's gonna bring some of that swag over here. So, that kind of is what I'm used to, is taking control and being a little more pre-snap. Having tools to put my guys in the best position, and that's something that we really didn't work on these last 2 years. But even those principles I learned from, and it made me better because it added a new element to my game. So, be able to, just get better and learn from, what he did with, New England and LA will definitely help me, because I feel, those are two schemes that I'm, kind of used to, in a sense. Like, that's kind of what I ran in at Ohio State, what kind of New Orleans does a little bit, and in LA, it's kind of what we ran here these last 2 years. So I'll be able to, put my swag on it and have fun with it. And he's all about me taking full ownership and running the show, and that's what I want. So I'm gonna get what I want, and that's really been really cool just to see that he's like bought into me, and he doesn't really know me well yet.
Plenty to like about what CJ Stroud had to say about Nick Caley's offense. And hey, Nick Caley, he's putting his faith in CJ Stroud. And why wouldn't you? With as excellent as CJ Stroud was his rookie year, the flashes of brilliance that he had last season, yeah, give CJ Stroud what he wants. I thought the way Stroud said that could get misconstrued if you read it, but he said, hey, that's what I want. I'm going to get what I want. It almost felt to me like it was like, and I'm going to get what I want. Not like I'm going to get what I want. It wasn't necessarily a demand. It was just pointing out that Stroud wanted more control over the offense, wanted a little bit more at the line of scrimmage for the quarterback to do. And it seems like he's going to get that. You think back to last season, you think back to maybe some of the conversations we've had about Bobby Slowick trying to go square peg, round hole. It seems like CJ Stroud was a part of that, making Stroud more of a system quarterback and not totally accentuating what CJ Stroud can do. And you remember watching last year, wasn't a lot of CJ Stroud walking up to the line of scrimmage, fixing things, changing things to a large degree, and making the Texans look really good with those changed plays. Seems like Nick Caley's got the faith that CJ Stroud can do that. Stroud clearly wanted that. He talked about as much with the experience he had at Ohio State to go and do some of those things. And now it looks like he's going to have that opportunity and have that ability here at the NFL level. Go up to the line of scrimmage, read the defense, change some things, alter the play as necessary to set the Texans up for success. You sure like hearing that when you think about what Nick Caley's offense could look like. If you believe in CJ Stroud, that's a good thing. If it's not getting going earlier, it's not clicking, CJ Stroud's going to shoulder some of that blame as well, because as he gets more control, as Nick Caley pours more into him, well, he takes more accountability for what happens with this team. But I got really excited thinking about what CJ Stroud could bring to the table in a more comfortable system for him, where he has a little bit more to do from the quarterback spot. Maybe some of those issues and hiccups from last year could have been corrected if Stroud had that freedom. We'll find out if that's the case when Nick Caley's offense arrives here in September. I'd say September because we're not going to see much in the preseason of the new and improved offense. But when September gets here, it should look a lot better from CJ Stroud's standpoint with what he's in charge of before the play. And I do feel like there's a pretty good chance you're going to see some more movement pre-snap from the Houston Texans. Last year, the Texans had motion in less than 70% of their offensive plays. The LA Rams checked in at 80%. And that's where Nick Caley coached last year. Of course, with that motion as the snap was happening, the Rams almost doubled the Texans' number in that situation, creating some confusion, making things easier for some players to get off the line of scrimmage and go make a play. It didn't feel like Bobby Slowick's evolution occurred between year one and year two. The Texans may take some of the things that did work from that offense last year and evolve those and make them even more impressive and even better. You heard Stroud talk about it. Some offshoot concepts from that LA Rams offense to what the Texans run, because, of course, McVay was a previous Kyle Shanahan guy. So there are some similarities, but you got to take what was there and evolve it, get better. The NFL has seen CJ Stroud running a Shanahan offshoot. Now they need to see CJ Stroud running something a little bit different with enough twists on the familiar stuff to make it even better. And if that happens, oh man, this offense feels like it could be a very, very exciting offense from a schematic standpoint. They still got to go out there and find players. You got to get a couple of offensive linemen. You really got to make sure, though, you figure out who the best five are from a blocking standpoint. But the scheme and the blocking scheme should be better under Nick Caley. And they still need some pass catching help and maybe even a little help in the backfield as well. That's what the NFL draft is for later this week. When they get those players in the building, they'll get caught up to speed and hopefully be able to help out in this new offense from offensive coordinator Nick Caley. It's just a little teaser. This is like movies do this now. Movies will show you the teaser to the trailer and they'll promote it, and then you get to watch the trailer, and then you realize the movie's not coming out for another half a year. That's almost where we are here. CJ Stroud kind of gave us the teaser to the trailer, and then once we finally see the movie in September, we'll judge how good or how bad it ultimately looks. But the little teaser, it got me excited. And think about it. That's what CJ Stroud's talking about. That's what he's excited about when they've only had about that much time together. Imagine what a whole summer in training camp Stroud could be excited about and what we could ultimately be excited about watching in September. I was a Nick Caley guy when the whole process started. I'm still a Nick Caley guy, but I'm even more excited about what he potentially can do this Houston Texans offense. What say you? You get excited about the teaser to the trailer of the offense, or a little bit of off-season reading too much into it? I don't think it's that, but let me know in the comment section down below if you believe so. A few more days to the NFL draft. Don't forget this Saturday, day 3 of the NFL draft, April 26th, myself, Landry Locker, we want to see you out at the Karbach Biergarten. Hang out with us. Watch the final day of the NFL draft. Talk about everything that happens day 1, day 2 over on the S&L channel, the Super Streams, myself, and Landry Locker from the Locker Room. Got you covered for rounds 1, 2, and 3 on Thursday night and Friday night. So don't miss out on that. You won't want to miss the first 3 rounds of coverage over on S&L. And don't miss the party on Saturday. Don't miss anything. Subscribe to the videos. So give me a thumbs up on your way down to the subscribe button. Hang around because I've got another ultimate fantasy draft with a buddy of mine, Raffi from Craft Pita. We're going to draft the ultimate appetizer lineup. You don't want to miss that coming up at the end of the video. Appreciate you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait till we talk Texans again soon. The fantasy drafts roll on here on the channel, and this one, the ultimate appetizer draft. And there was one guy that I knew I had to get in here to talk appetizers, get you pumped up for that entree, for that meal, or maybe you're like me and you just order all appetizers sometimes. But my guy Raffi from Craft Pita, man, I'm pumped. I know you're a big fantasy food draft guy, so I'm punching above my weight here. You've been in a few of these with Eric Sandler over at Culture Map, so you're an expert at this stuff, but I figured I'd test my mettle against you and see how the folks do with our ultimate appetizer draft.
You know, some people are film junkies and are draft nerds. I'm on the appetizer food draft circuit, and this is just my latest stop.
Circuit, yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, so for the folks who don't know you, Raffi, just give the people a little background. We've been friends for a couple years now, and I've certainly followed all the success you guys have had with Craft Pita, but kind of give the folks a little rundown about how you ended up where you are now and your background. Then we'll get into the appetizers where I'm telling you, I'm going to smoke you in this. So
I'm ready.
Be ready. So give the folks a little background on you.
So my parents immigrated here to America. My father is from Lebanon. My mother's from Peru. They met at U of H. And I spent my summers, my whole life visiting my grandmother in Lebanon. And there I learned how to cook Lebanese food. And I went to, I'm a Houston born and raised guy. I went to St. Thomas, and I went to TCU for college. When I was at TCU, I started my own shawarma pita food truck on campus while I was studying entrepreneurship there. Sold the business, moved back home, worked for a bunch of local places like Island Grill and Papa's Restaurants. And in 2019, I decided to open my own place. It was called Craft Pita. Our original location was on Fountain View in San Felipe. We were still there, about to celebrate 6 years come August. And we specialize in shared plates, appetizers, funny enough, sandwiches, bowls, rotisserie chicken. And we have a new location that's been open for about 2.5 years at Westview, Buffalo Speedway, and 59, kind of near where you live. And we are a very authentic Lebanese restaurant with a bunch of unique twists. We locally source as much as humanly possible from ranchers, bakers, and farmers. And we're a nice place to eat a healthy meal that's convenient and a nice environment, good service. And we kind of just try to differentiate ourselves amongst the other Middle Eastern, Mediterranean restaurants in town.
Now, I know some people are going to hear healthy. Oh, come on. Nah, there's plenty of flavor. And if you want to get outside the box and, I don't know, get one of those shared plates that's the loaded fries like I do basically every time I go in there, they got that for you too. Okay, so don't let the word healthy scare you away from Craft Pita. They do a great job over there.
Yeah, sometimes our macho football fans might hear the word healthy and get a little turned off, but we got plenty of we got French fries on the menu. We got grilled beef. We've got beer, ice cream. It's not just healthy stuff. We just happen to have a good focus on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you sneak in some twists on some desserts too that the folks got to try out. So try out Craft Pita. We're gonna talk with Raffi here some football at the end, but right now I got to get to beating him up here in this appetizer draft. So here's how it's gonna work, Raffi. It's got to be an appetizer. It doesn't have to be from a place. Like you don't have to say this from that. It just got to be a dish that is widely considered an appetizer, starter, however you want to phrase that. If you have a recommendation for a place that you really like that has a good one of those, certainly feel free to throw it in. But for instance, if you take, say, queso, I can't draft queso, so whatever you draft, you get all of that. There's no backdooring. Well, this place does it. No. You're going to do that, and you're the guest. So I'm going to let you go first, which is dangerous here with your expertise. I'm going to let you go first in the ultimate appetizer draft. So what is the 1-1? What is the number one overall pick here in the ultimate appetizer draft from you?
My first overall pick is a passion food of mine. It is the ultimate football food. I will debate that till the end of day. It is chicken wings.
Oh, okay.
And while it can be an entree, right? I think that's what makes it its superpower is that when it is eaten as an appetizer, it can be the best way to start a meal. And there's lots of different ways you can get it, grilled, smoked then fried then smoked. There's a bajillion different ways. My favorite place back in the day, one of my favorite places to watch sports in general was at Hay Merchant, Chris Shepard's place on Westheimer.
Oh, yeah.
And the PB&J wings there, they're basically like a Thai peanut wing. So it's spicy and sweet. That was my ultimate wing. And actually, the chef that originally created it for Chris is Aaron Fegis over at Fegis Barbecue. So I'm going to plug Fegis Barbecue PB&J wing as my wing of choice.
Yeah, I was going to say, no more Hay Merchant anymore, but you can still find that. And it still pops up there with the Fegis folks. And then occasional pop-up here and there. You got somebody giving it taking a swing. So that's strong, man. And I got to thinking as I was getting ready for this, as I was getting my Mel Kiper on, putting my big board of appetizers together, this was really high up there.
Okay.
And I was thinking, if you go with that, I'm going to try to fight you and say, no, it's an entree now. But no, it is absolutely an appetizer.
I agree. I thought about not putting it for that reason, but I was like, it's appetizer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't go with my number one, because my number one is I think this is better than chicken wings, buffalo wings, however you want to phrase it. I'm going chips and queso.
Oh, it was a very tough 1-2 for me. I swear, those were 1 and 2 for me.
And look, there you can get queso at almost any type of place. There's all different versions, like you mentioned with chicken wings. Probably not as many as chicken wings, but man,
in Houston, maybe, man,
just a big bowl of cheesy, delicious goodness, and everybody from Tex-Mex and Mexican food restaurants to sports bars to anybody can throw queso on the menu, and it's a safe. And a lot of times has high potential to be delicious. So.
And addicting.
And
I think that's what a good appetizer is, one you don't put down, right?
Yes, that's a great point. All right, so you got chicken wings, I got queso. It's back to you now for the third pick here.
With my second overall pick, I am going to pick something that in Houston is a very unique and, again, lots of options. I'm actually going to go with calamari.
Oh,
I think calamari
what a snag.
is whether you're at an Italian restaurant, a seafood restaurant, a steakhouse. There are so many different varieties of preparations here. I worked at Papa's, and I think actually my favorite one still to this day is the one at Papado. That one at Papado, it's actually, I think, their most popular appetizer as well.
I believe it.
It's just, especially with a little, squeeze of lemon on top, it's a great way to start a meal.
You can pair it with so many different kinds of sauces too.
Totally. Cocktail, marinara. I've even had it places where they do like an Asian version.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the chain ones that has a really good version of it is the one at Eddie V's. I haven't had it in years, but they have like a one with like an Asian sauce. And so yeah, chicken wings and calamari coming out hot with the fried food, ready to, have a not healthy meal. But
I knew you'd take something that had the opportunity to show up on a high end menu as well as on, just your everyday menu. So I knew you were going to do that. Okay. I'm getting cheesy again for my second pick.
Oh.
And I may have too much cheese for some, but some people would tell you that you can't have too much cheese.
I know where you're going.
I'm going cheese sticks, baby.
Yeah.
Cheese sticks. From the good old-fashioned out of the freezer, throw them in the oven, to just the giant, which seems popular now, like the giant cheese blocks that everybody does. Cheese sticks is my second selection. And I pair that with queso, and my goodness, if you are lactose intolerant, you are liking Raffi's draft a lot more than mine.
The best version of mozzarella sticks in town that I had recently, just like a week ago, and I've had it a few times before that, is at No-No's in Montrose.
Very good.
So they do the tavern-style pizza, but they do the crunchiest. I was trying to ask my wife, I was like, do they put like cereal or I don't know what keeps it so crunchy on the outside. That is an amazing mozzarella stick.
Yeah, and again, people have kind of gone away from stick to like blocks now.
Yeah.
And for a big guy like me, I love a big cheesy
Me
fried.
too. But
yeah, give me that.
But it's about the most surface area of crunch, not most surface area of cheese.
Sure.
So I'm pro stick.
Yeah, and you gotta and if it ain't pulling, it ain't worth a hoot.
That's right.
So you want a big pull. All right, so I got queso and cheese sticks. You went with chicken wings and calamari.
Yeah.
You're up again here. What do you got for us?
Okay, I'm going to go back to my big board. And I'm going to go with... And I'm trying to get mass appeal here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the folks will vote on this. I'll let you know if you win or lose.
I'm going to hit how many rounds are we doing?
You got two more selections.
Okay.
If you feel like you need a little bit more, we can stretch it to three more selections.
We can do three. If we do three, I'm good. 5 rounds?
Okay. Yeah, 5 rounds. Okay. Commissioner's call. We're still in the draft. Let's go.
Okay. Nachos. Nachos are, same thing with queso, addictive. Yeah. Great. One of the best foods where you put in front of everybody. Everyone's eating with their hands. Everyone can kind of get what they want. If you like the sour cream, you can get the sour cream. If you like the onions or the jalapenos, that's up to you. I think based on all my picks, finger food is clearly something I think is an important part of Appetizer. The best version of nachos in town, in my opinion, is at Candente in Montrose. My buddy Michael Sambrooks, who owns it, is also the owner of the Pit Room. And they use the smoked brisket from the Pit Room. And it's amazing. And they put like the pickled onions. And there's 2 different kinds of nachos. Because I worked at Papacitos for 4 years. There's stacked nachos.
Yep.
And then there's built on one chip. Yep. I normally am against the one chip. I'm more pro stack nacho, but the one at Candente is the ideal version of a one chip nacho.
Okay, well, you get all the versions of the nachos here. So that is strong. And had I not gotten queso, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah, you can't double up.
Yeah, that would have been a weird double up for me.
It's like doing 2 running backs in one draft or something.
Yeah, exactly. In back-to-back rounds, like that'd be a little Okay, all right. So that's you got a strong team over there. I'm going to go with a little bit of a lighter item here because I've been pretty heavy here with the queso and the cheese sticks. I'm going to go with oysters.
Oh, damn. That was my next
I knew it. I knew oysters were going to be on your board. I'm going oysters. I mean, a million different varieties. Yeah. Dress them up however you want. And you can get some fancy ones and just have a few. You can get some not fancy ones and, eat them till the chef comes out and says, hey, we're out of oysters, which has happened to me before. So oysters, I think there's versatility across high-end menus to just your regular old right by the water shack that gets you some oysters. Oysters is a strong one for me. Not probably as much wide appeal as some of the other stuff we've talked about.
Yeah, it can be not polarizing. Yeah, especially some people like roasted and fried. They don't like the raw. Some people like all of the above. What is your preference?
I like a raw oyster with some horseradish.
I like raw the best when it's at its ideal version. I love a fried oyster and of course a roasted oyster. I've been going to Credence over here on my side of town and on Bunker Hill in Memorial area, and they put like salsa matcha and peanuts in their roasted oysters. It's pretty nice. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I lightened my side up a little bit here. Okay. You're back on the clock here. Chicken wings, calamari, and nachos already on your team. What's next? What are you adding to the crew?
Okay. I'm going to do an all fried team. Technically, nachos are fried.
Okay.
I'm going to go with egg rolls.
Oh,
we're in Houston. There's a bajillion and one Chinese and Vietnamese restaurants and Thai restaurants. I mean, that's the nice thing about egg rolls. You get all the versions of egg roll. Man, I am not even going to pick a place for this one. Yeah. I just like getting them at like banh mi shops. Yep. And it's very versatile, hot. It can be vegetarian, not vegetarian. Egg rolls, it's one of the great vehicles of the appetizer world.
Man, that's a great call. It's got a lot of different varieties to it.
And you include the dip as well.
Yeah. I'm just a straight, just a little soy sauce for me on those. Every now and then, if you're at a Chinese buffet and you want to take that first bite and then just kind of pour the soy sauce down the middle of the egg roll, that works too. So that's strong. That's strong. A little international flair to your list here.
Yeah, you got to spin it up a little bit.
Okay, all right. So that's going to be tough to follow, but I feel like I got a shot here.
This is your final. This is your fourth pick.
Yeah, this is my fourth pick, and then you've got one more, and I got one more after this. Man. All right, I'm going to go with fried pickles. And here's why I'm picking fried pickles.
Football food.
Because it is a sports bar staple. You love a fried pickle.
100%.
Comes in a bunch of different varieties. I'm partial to pickled chips.
I am pro pickled chips.
Yeah.
There are so few spears that the crust doesn't come off the pickle.
Correct. Here's the crazy thing about me. I don't really like pickles themselves. So I don't get pickles on my burger. I don't get pickles on sandwiches.
But you like pickle chips.
But I like pickle chips, and that's why they're making the squad here as my fourth pick. And I add yet another extremely fried item to my cheese sticks queso. I got the oysters to lighten some things out. That's good.
I've been getting pickle chips over at the Pit Room here in Memorial. I live close by, and that's one of my new sports bar. For me, I like this topic, especially when it comes to sports, because I think finger foods and appetizer food are the most important part of watching like sports, right? Like the entree is not the thing.
Yeah, once the burger gets there, you're usually full.
Yeah, exactly. And Pit Room is a great place to watch Texans games. Highly recommend it.
Okay, all right. So fried pickles comes off the board here. Now, your final selection, your final pick, and you've got one heck of a team up to this point. You just added nachos. You've got chicken wings. You've got fried calamari, and you've got egg rolls. What joins them on your team, Raffi?
We are gonna not be a full swarm squad of fried food. I'm gonna go healthy, and I'm gonna shamelessly plug Craft Pita. We're gonna go with hummus. We're gonna go with hummus and chips and pita bread. It is one of the greatest appetizers in the world when done correctly. Not at most sports bars.
Right, sure.
Most of the time at a sports bar, they do have hummus on the menu, but it is out of a nasty can or tube from Cisco or something. But a good hummus is made with freshly soaked garbanzo beans, lemon juice, tahini, a little bit of olive oil, lots of garlic, and some fresh bread or baked chips. We make ours from scratch every day at Craft Pita. We make it a Lebanese style. which is more lemon and garlic forward than tahini forward. And it's one of those things that when it's done right, it's not a healthy food. It's just something that's delicious. And you can eat it with veggie sticks. You can eat it with, you can put it on toast. You can put it on a million different things. But hummus is my final pick.
I'm not kidding you when I tell you that was going to be my fourth pick if we only had 4 rounds.
I ruined your draft strategy. I ruined it.
And then when we got it to 5, I was like, well, it could still be my 5th pick. I'll sneak another thing in here. And then you take hummus. Yeah, you guys do a great job over there. I like the spicy version too.
Spicy hummus at Craft Pita was originally the first iteration of it was meant for the Houston Texans.
Oh, wow.
I was a hummus purist. I said, we are never going to serve flavored hummus here. This is a Lebanese restaurant. We serve one kind of hummus. And then I started catering the Texans. They're like, hey, can you make a spicy hummus? And I was like, yeah, for you guys, I guess. And then I made it a special and never went away.
There you go. Okay, man, I got some making up to do here. I think that's a good pick. I'm going back with a little seafood flair.
Okay.
And you're not finding this at most sports bars. But when you go and you invest in this appetizer,
I know where you're going.
It's big time, and it usually does not disappoint. And it's crab cakes. Who doesn't love crab cakes? Crab cakes. You get them at a seafood restaurant. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
High-end steakhouses will knock your socks off with some crab cakes. Whew. Weddings, when they walk around with mini crab cakes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. You can't go wrong with crab
cake is one of the ultimate appetizers because it's something very flavorful and a premium ingredient of crab.
Yep.
Carbs, whatever the stuffing is, and then butter. What's there not to like? And then some mayonnaise-ish sauce.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so much to like about a crab cake, and I feel like that's a strong finish.
That's a great way to finish. That was a fancy way to finish. We each kind of zagged there at the end from the rest of our team.
Yes.
So, all right, let's go over the teams.
All right, so to recap, Raffi, you recap your team in order there.
Okay. So with my first pick, I went with chicken wings.
Yep.
With my second pick, I went with calamari. With my third pick, I'm blanking here.
Nachos.
Nachos. With my fourth pick, I went with egg rolls. And my fifth pick, I went with hummus.
It's a great call. It's a great team. It's going to have the pleasure of losing to my team, which it contains queso, cheese sticks, oysters, fried pickles, and crab cakes. Woo.
That's tough, man. Those are both great teams.
You know what just missed for me?
What? Yeah, let's go over that.
Pot stickers.
Ooh, good one. I had dumplings on here too.
Dumplings / pot stickers.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I thought about just straight up just bread and oil.
Oh yeah, I thought about bread service as well, but I decided I was like, that bread service is not really appetizer, but it is.
Yeah, and then I had just like an old school one, just maybe in case I felt like I needed a little bit of nostalgia to my team.
Yeah,
I had pigs in a blanket.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great one. Love pigs in a blanket. My misses were ceviche. I was going to represent the Peruvian side of me, but I think most people have not had an amazing ceviche, and so I was just like, maybe not. Deviled eggs. My favorite one is the one with the lobster on top at Papa's Steakhouse. I had arancini. Have you ever had arancini before? Fried risotto balls.
Yeah, rice balls. Yeah.
Shrimp cocktail.
Good one.
That was a very obvious one. Seafood pancake at like Korean steakhouses.
Yep, that'd have been a good one.
Smoked fish dip. Like a red fish.
Yeah,
with sauce. Couple of my favorite places, like locally, the Nancy cakes at Nancy's Hustle. It's like brownie cake with butter and trout roe.
Nothing
and
wrong
then
with that.
the Vietnamese rice cake at Tan Tan in Bel Air is one of the most infamous appetizers in town, and it's like $5 and been $5 for like 30 years. It's basically like egg rice cake with chives and like a sweet and sour sauce. Epic.
Okay, that's on my to-do list for sure.
Tan Tan, yeah.
Okay.
Then they have like all American American Chinese stuff and other Vietnamese things. Really good.
Okay, fantastic. That's awesome, man. I'm going to put this up for the folks on the community page. Let them get a vote in. And man, I don't think we left anything. I mean, if you want to walk into
those are big swingers.
If this were the 10 appetizer offerings on a menu, you would find something you really like.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good restaurant menu right there.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk a little football with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you dead set here? Got to be an offensive lineman early on in the draft here for the Texans?
Yeah, I think I've, especially listening to you guys, and actually I thought the argument that you were talking about the other day with Landry is this lineman has to be on the team next year. Whoever they draft has to play this year and next year.
Yeah.
So it's not just about this year. We have to have some alignment for the future. So I'm dead set on linemen. I think these wide receivers at the top are good. I think there's more value in that second day group.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have talked about my TCU boys, Beck and Savion Williams. I think those guys have a lot more value than getting one of these first-round wide receivers. I'm pretty dead set to answer your question. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the backbone that they haven't had in the past couple of years. And I'm actually, probably by the time the folks see this, I've written about what Caserio had to say about the offensive line. And he's, the process, we haven't made any wholesale changes. It's like, well, that process built you. I don't know if that's what you wanted to hear.
I know. But they're never going to, I heard y'all talk about this. He's never going to admit they did something different. I saw CJ at the Rockets game last night, and I want him to look happy and healthy like he did last night all year long. It was just so frustrating. It was hard to tell whether it was the talent level on the offensive line or it was the scheming or, slow, not helping them out. I think there's a little bit of both at the end of the day. But we have to establish. It's been like a freaking curse of this team for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I just want to – we've had some bad O-lines 2-3 years at a time maybe, but never historically for a long period of time.
Yeah, there's always – it feels like there's something that just pops up every now and then where they just –
like Dwayne Brown has to go. Okay, well, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Now offensive line isn't good anymore.
Right, yeah. Oh, man. That still, it's not great when you sit here and you still say, 2011, 2012 are the best offensive line this organization's ever had.
That's a sad way to think about things.
In 12, 13 years, you couldn't have figured out something close. That's the big thing. Is they don't have to be the Eagles next year.
No. They just can't be a bottom 5 O-line.
Yeah, just don't suck.
We're shooting for top 15. That's not that hard to ask for.
I promise you, if they were the 20th best offensive line this upcoming season,
they could be the Chiefs.
It would be remarkably improved from a watching perspective.
Totally.
If they were just the 20th best. And so we'll see. You draft maybe a lineman or two here in a couple of days and then add them into what you've already got. And you just hope that the coaching, the scheme is a little bit better. So that's I certainly understand. And previously, and I've not always been got to get the line, got to get a lineman, but it wasn't even the sacks are bad, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the constant pressure that keeps doing what you want to do.
And then it made CJ get the yips, which is not something you want to see in your second-year quarterback.
No.
And I'm of the ilk, I'd rather get rid of Tunsil and have a bunch of guys who are B's and C's than 1A and 4 D's. That's why
my report card.
Yeah, that was my report card in school too. I think you go lineman first. I think in the second we got 3 picks in the top 100, right?
Yeah, so they got 58, 79, and 89 on day 2.
So I think there you can go a lot of different ways. Obviously, they still need a wide receiver. I don't think it matters what type of wide receiver. I just think you get the best guy possible. I think I know we signed Robbie Williams, but I still think they need a third cornerback. That line, the rotation of our third guy last year was scary. Udoka.
Ronald Darby. Yeah.
What did I say? Robbie. Man, I was like, knew I pulled that name out of somewhere.
Yeah, Ronald Darby. That's okay. Not many people know who Ronald Darby is.
Okay. I just think they have to have a third cornerback. I think the safety position, especially if Jimmy Ward stays on the team, I know it's not an ideal contract, but I think if we can shore up in the first three, I don't care what order. I do care what order. Offensive lineman, wide receiver, cornerback, and then, maybe running back after that. That's just kind of how I think things should shake up.
I love that. I mean, I would even if they could move around and get in there on day 4, get that developmental cornerback that or round 4, excuse me, like get that guy that maybe needs a little bit of time, like Ronald Darby can kind of hold it down till he's ready. And then if you could spend the next 2 seasons, sort of you're too deep in the secondary put together, like that'd be something nice. You wouldn't have to worry about that, and then you can focus on some of those other things too. I love the running back class, so I'm in on a running back, and then I like enough of these wide receivers. You should be able to find something.
Yeah, the other thing I'm not particularly well versed in is like the deeper tight end stuff. I know about the guys at the top, but past 4th round tight ends, I wouldn't say I have any names in particular that I like, but I do think they need to figure that out.
Yeah, I would think like a very particular skill. So like if the guy's just a blocker, boom, he's just a blocker. Yeah. Use a late round pick on him. If he's just a guy that can, but if the right guy was there at 58, 79, I'd go ahead.
And yeah, me too. Because they need help on offense. That's just really. They did a good job, I think, reshoring up the D-line in the offseason. I think EJ Speed is low-key going to be one of the best signings of the offseason.
Wow, okay.
Because
a little depth there
that they needed, especially because we don't know how Christian Harris will be.
Sure.
That was a group that needed some help. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Colts let go of him for a reason. I just remember having a crazy game against us one day. I don't know why. I have this I can't remember what happened. I just remember him wrecking us one game. And then I think the safeties, while not deep, we got 3 guys now. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with Petrie. I mean, if he can play 3 positions for that price tag, then we got to steal.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen.
I'm not confident, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, did it for 11 games. He got hurt in the 12th game last
year. If you're paying one player to play safety, cornerback, and linebacker, that's the best contract in the NFL.
Sure.
But can he stay on the field?
Yeah, can he stay on the field? And that coverage has got to get better too.
Yes, for sure.
Well, Raffi, I appreciate you jumping in for the ultimate appetizer draft. Thank you for coming and showing up and creating a team that will ultimately lose to mine and the people vote. Tell the people one more time about Craft Pita, where they can find it, and what you guys have coming up. You always have something unique, fun, different that you put together. Seasonal stuff. You guys just did a collaboration with Truth Barbecue. You're always doing fun stuff over there at Craft Pita.
Yeah, we're always collaborating. So our next collaboration, I guess this will be technically the first time I'm announcing it, will be at Winnie's. Winnie's on May 10th on Saturday. We're doing Habibi Night 2.0. We're doing a bunch of crazy bar food, sports bar food. We're doing pomegranate chicken wings. We're doing boudin spring roll chopped over hummus. We're doing a lamb meatball grinder, a za'atar fried chicken sandwich. We're swinging for the fences on that menu.
That's awesome.
Doing frozen drinks like, vodka mint lemonade. I'm bringing out a Lebanese DJ, and we're bringing hookah. We're going to party like we're in Beirut.
There you go. I love that. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, the folks got to check out Craft Pita. They got to go vote on this over on the community page, and when they see you around Craft Pita, because I got you at the rare time. I thought you were gonna video in from the restaurant. You're always there.
Yeah,
always doing something.
Mondays are payroll days, and please, if anybody sees me at the restaurant, please stop me. I'm always running around. That's how I got to know you.
Yep.
I'm a big Texan fan. Part of my culinary career, I owe to the Texans. I learned how to cook, tailgating, not just at my grandma's house, underage drinking in the yellow lot at 16 years old. And we do a lot of catering for the nutrition team over the Texans. Like I said, we got lots of healthy food. You can find us at craftpita.com, on Instagram at Craft Pita. And again, my name is Raffi Nasr. We'd love to have you guys come by either of our locations at West U off of Buffalo Speedway, or in the Briar Grove area off of Fountainview.
Yeah, so go check out. Go tell Raffi you saw him here on the draft, and then mock him mercilessly for losing to me. Or I guess tell him congratulations if the off chance that the audience likes that draft more.
I hope it's close. I hope it's close.
Too.
That would be really fun.
Yeah. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, and appreciate everything you guys do. Y'all, Houston football and Landry and S&L, and you guys have made this off season a lot more fun, and it's a lot of hard work. I hope you get through the draft. I'm going to try to visit you guys on Saturday. I'm going to try.
Beautiful.
It's my birthday this week, so I might. I'm having a party on Saturday, so I'm going to try and swing by before that.
That's awesome, man. We appreciate it, and the check's in the mail. Thanks for saying all those nice things.
Thank you.
Raffi, thanks again, man.
Have a great day, Cody. Thank you.
See ya.